Hello students, welcome to class of economics. So today we're gonna study the concept of positive and normative economics. First, let us understand the concept of positive economics. In journal life, when you listen to the word positive, you might derive the meaning like being optimistic or constructive. But in economics, it has different meaning. Positive economics here deals with an issues which are related to the past, present, or future. These economic situations can be studied by using the facts and figure. Here, a person or an economics presents some economic situation to the persons and they have some facts and figure that are accompanying that particular situation to prove whether the statement is true or false, and this statement can either be of past, present, or future. It does not matter, but the point that is to be considered, these statements are not considerably be true. They cannot be said, we cannot say that all these statements are true. It can only be analyzed whether the statement is true or false only after analyzing the facts and figure which we are going to accompany with that particular statement or particular situation. So basically what it is, positive economists deal with economic issues which are related to past, present, or future, and these economic situation can be studied with the help of what, facts and figures which accompany them, which are kind of a data which prove whether the statement which is given is true or false. So positive statements are not to be true, they are not true till the time we can check it out with the facts and figure which are presented with it. Let's look at the example which has been given on your screen. Look at it. 22% of population in India is absolutely poor. Here we are saying that the 22% of the population of all of India is absolutely poor, means these people are not able to come above the poverty line in any situation. So this is a statement which is up to certain extent true, but we cannot say on a direct note that it is true. We need to prove that the statement is true or false, and that could be only done by the facts and figure when we will analyze the data which has been submitted us to by the government organizations who collect the data, and if we analyze it and if we find it true, then we can say it is a true statement. But here we are talking about positive statement. Positive statement basically tells us that this is a particular economic situation or this is particularly an economic issue, and this is the fact which proves that this economic issue or this economic situation is prevailing or not. Look at the second example we are having. On the eve of independence, poverty in India affected a larger percentage of population than now. Then what is our mention over here? On the eve of independence, when we got independence, poverty in India affected larger percent of population than now. Then the effect of the poverty was lesser than in that period, but it is so much in this period, and that is after the independence. So we are saying, again we are saying a statement which is which had happened or which might happening. So it is a statement which we are telling that this economic situation or this economic problem is right now being arrived or being seen by the people. This is, we are just telling an economic situation. We must have some facts and figure to prove our point whether what we are saying is true or not. So basically if we talk about the positive economics, so positive economics always tell what it is. It tells that what is right now happening or what had happened or what will happen in the future. So it always talk about the term what it is. Now look at the characteristics of the positive economics. So first characteristic we are having is these statement highlight the nature and extent of economic problem or analyze the economic behavior of the people related to past, present, or future. So what does these statements analyze? These statements highlight the nature and extent of economic problem. They tells us what is the nature, in which category does this economic problem lies, and what to what extent, to what level this. For example, in first example we said 22% of population. We are telling that 22% of population, we are telling the extent, and we tell about the nature. The nature is what? Poverty. In both the terms we talk about poverty. So nature of the term is poverty, extent we tell is 22%. It tells us. And the second statement, if we look at on the eve of independence, over there we mentioned that this was happening before independence and this is happening after independence. So we are talking about both the past and the present, and some statements also consider the points related to future also. Second characteristic is these statements are based on facts and figure related to past, present or future. So whatever statement we are presenting, whatever statement we are quoting related to that particular economic situation or a problem, that statement is being accompanied by some facts and figures which can be related to either the past, present or future. Then these statements are verifiable truth. I already told you these statements, we cannot say that these statements are true. No, these statements can be said only true when with the help of the facts and figure which we presented, if we are able to verify them. If we check, if we our statements say that 22% of the population is absolutely poor, and data is being submitted to us that these people are not able to afford the minimum or basic requirements of a life, so we can say yeah, that it is true that 22% of the population is not. If that data or that figure or that facts prove that the statement given is true, then we say that that is truth. So basically it is a verifiable truth. If we get the data correct, then we can say it is truth, but if the data is not correct according to the statement, then we can say the statement is false. Then this statement do not reflect any value, judgment or opinion of economics. This point is to be considered over here, that these statements are not the point of view of any person. These are not my point of view that I say that it might be 22% of the population might be India below the poverty, or they might be absolutely poor. That will be called as opinion, because that will be my own personal thinking. But over here we are talking about is that it is not someone's opinion. Alright, it is not someone's opinion. Now let's move to the next concept, that is normative economics. Now normative economics is exactly opposite to the positive economics. So what is normative economics? Normative economics tells us the economics what ought to be. Normative economy is the economics, it is what ought to be, deals with the opinion of economists related to economic issues or economic problem. Basically normative economics consider those statement which consider someone's opinion, which the statement which tell that what should happen or what should be the condition, what steps should be taken. If we talk about the current situation, we are saying that government should do this to control coronavirus, the government should do that for controlling coronavirus. These are my opinion. This is what I'm telling, that what should be done. It is not happening right now. So it is my opinion, it is my own value judgment that is being presented. So these statement, this kind of statement where we present our opinion, where we tell what ought to be or what should be over there, then these statements are termed as the normative economics. Let's look at the example. Manrega will one day an end to the problem of unemployment in the country. We say when that is Mahatma Gandhi National Rural Employment Guarantee Act, which has been applied by the government, under which people who are not able to get the employment get 100-day particular work in an year. So under this scheme we say that if this scheme will prevail for the longer time period, then it will help us in eradicating the problem of unemployment. The problem of unemployment which you are facing right now in a very large number will be soon resolved if we keep following this act, or if we keep following this policy. So this is a statement, this is someone's opinion. Someone is saying that I feel so that if this keep on applying for the longer time period, then the unemployment problem will resolve. It is not fact, I cannot prove it, it's my opinion. I'm just saying that I feel so that it will happen, but I'm not having the particular facts or figure to prove my statement. Let's look at the second statement. It said Manrega uses taxpayers money and should therefore be stopped. Someone said that in the Manrega we are employing what? We are employing our taxpayers income. Our taxpayers income is being used to provide the employment to the people. So we should stop, because people think that the tax we pay should be used for our development, not for the other people development. It should be indulged in developing the infrastructure facilities rather than providing the employment facilities to such kind of people. So it is also someone's opinion. It is not true. I cannot point or stress about on it regarding with some facts and figures. It is my point of view. It is what I'm saying ought to be, what should happen. I'm telling that this should happen or this should be done, but it is not happening right now. It hasn't happened in the past also. So it is just my opinion. So what are a positive normative statement? Normative statements are just someone's opinion, someone's value judgment, which are not accompanied by any facts or figures which can accompany and prove that whether this statement is true or false. So these statements are either not verifiable truths as the positive economic statements were. We can call them the verifiables because we have some facts and figures to verify them. But in normative economy, it doesn't have some facts and figures to prove our point that whether we are saying or whether the statement we are presenting is true or false. Let's look at its characteristics. So the first characteristic that we are having is these statements involve value judgment. I told you these are the opinions of some persons. These are my opinion. These might be your opinion. This might be other opinion person's opinion. But these are not the facts. Then these statements lead to controversies and debate. We watch the news channels. Someone passed the statement that this should be done by the government should do this, and people start debating on it. It leads to controversies. So these statements generally result in the controversies and debates on which the people have some discussions about it, whether he or she said that statement is true is correct or not. But we are not having some particular facts to prove that statement. Now these statements reflects what ought to be. I am telling you that it tells what ought to be, what should be done as a solution to the economic problem. Right now we are facing an economic problem. We are facing an world epidemic right now. So, all right, so we're facing a health problem right now, that is coronavirus. So we when economists are telling us that this should be done to somewhere decrease the impact of this particular that recession we're going to face after this coronavirus situation, because all the business has been stopped working, then we are not getting money from anywhere. So all the people are giving their opinion that this should be done by the government, this should be done, and this steps to be taken, but we are just telling the solution what ought to be. We are not having some particular point of a particular statement which proves that this is true or false. All right, now these statements indicate opinions and therefore not a verifiable truth. This point has been already been discussed, that these statements only tell the opinions, and these statements cannot be verified by us because we are not having some facts or figures to accompany these statements. Now let's have a comparison between both the statements. So first comparison, we are having the positive economies deal with an economic issues like economic behavior related to past, present and future. What does positive economics deal with? It deals with an economic issues which are either related to past, present or future. On the other hand, if we talk about the normative economics deal with the opinion of economists related to the economic issues and economic problem. Here we are telling the what economics thinks about particular situation or particular problem in normative, but in positive we tell what has happened in past, what is happening in present and what will happen in future. We are telling you the particular situation which is happening. So in the normative, whereas we are discussing what ought to be or what our opinion will happen. Then if we talk about the next point, that is the statements of the positive economics relate to what was, what is and what would be. That is we have been already talking about it now, that it tells us what was happening in past, what is happening in present and what will happen in future. So it is telling us about what is, what was and what will be. All right. On the other hand, normative statements, it tells us what ought to be, that what should happen in particular situation. Then the statement of the positive economics are not necessarily the statements of truth. They may be true or false. As it has also been already discussed, these are only the statement. We cannot say that all the positive statements are true. We need to verify it with the help of what facts and figure. Example, somebody says population of India is more than the population of China. It is definitely the positive statement, but it is wrong. One can verify it. So if someone says that the India population is more than the population of China, all right, it is a positive statement. We claim it. It is positive, but it cannot be proved with the facts or figures. On the other hand, normative statements cannot be termed as true or false. We cannot classify in the category of the true or a false. We can only say that this should happen. This is my opinion. This is my personal value judgment. For example, someone says that the old age pension should be stopped. It is just an opinion. It is someone's opinion. Someone doesn't like people to give the pension. He might be having his own thing. He might think that if we give the pension to the people, then old age people will become lethargic and they will stop working. This is someone's opinion, but it is not happening. He or she doesn't have any facts to prove his point. So that is what a normative statements or normative economics is. Now next point under the positive economics is the facts and figures as an element of positive are verifiable truth. So we can use this facts and figure to verify whether the statement is true or false. Under normative statements are not such any verifiable element which we can use to check whether the statement is true or false. And positive economics does not involve value judgment. It is not having someone's opinion. It just tells about that what situation is happening or what situation has happened in the past. But normative is all about the value judgment of the people. It only tells what people think and what people think we should do, or what people think what will happen in the future. It is all about the opinions of the people. So that was a topic of positive and normative economics. They are exactly opposite to each other, where positive economics tells us what is, what was, and what will be, where normative economics is just what should be done and what ought to be. It is just someone's opinion. Where positive economics are verifiable truth, normative economics are not verifiable truths. Normative economics is just someone's opinion, whereas the positive economics are particularly the economic situations which have been quoted by the people, what happened in particular situation, that which are telling. So but one point to be considered, that both positive and normative economy both talk about the economic situations and economic problem. That's it for today.